Libra, welcome. It's Erin Scott here with the Alchemy of Holism. So we're tapping in to this very powerful dynamic Taurus new moon cycle, okay? So I have my gouache paints here. I have some charcoal pencils here. I have my cards, my own Siri deck, which I'm going to pull a card to take a look at the growth edge for you. Listen, it's a powerful time. Taurus sun moon conjunction tomorrow, the 15th of May, happening alongside Uranus's ingress into Taurus. Manifest reality is going to be going through a revolutionary change over the course of the next 7 years. And this month, we're going to bump into it and we're going to start riding the wave. Okay. Now, I'm going to start to tap in and see what pictures, symbols, forms, patterns are coming through for you. Okay. Okay, Libra. Okay, make sure you can see everything. And Libra, if it's the first time for you tapping in, what I'm doing is just seeing what comes through. I'm just letting form come through. And then we'll talk about what it's saying. Every form is informed by story. Every physical form is informed by story. Now, I will say I have a selection of colors down here, but I'm just following what colors are wanting to come here. Hopefully you can hear there's some bird song in the background. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear it, but it's coming in from the maple trees outside. It's beautiful. So Libra, I'm just going to tap in a little bit, okay? It's going to be a little quiet, I think, for a second here. So Libra, let's talk about what's coming. I actually don't know yet. Let's talk about it one by one. We'll start with what I began with, okay? Which is these three, ultimately what kind of look like bamboo stalks, but they're not upright. They're kind of going up to the right at an angle. So there's an evolution up to the right. You know, the right brain is the creative. It's more associated with holistic seeing, story identification, long view seeing. It is the emotional aspect of the brain, the intuitive aspect, the creative aspect, the musical kind of part of the brain. It's more associated with those functions, the right brain. So up and to the right, we have these three bamboo stalks. Now, there's a couple things. One is there's these like little leaves coming off of all three, two of them, 2, 2, and 2, equaling 6. 6 can represent finances, security, and family. But you're going to notice that there's these brown, what feel like an organic part of the plant, not necessarily to bamboo, but there's almost like these ringed brown rings to these two bamboo shoots, but not to the lower one. The lower, longer one has no, let's say, additional wrap or additional ring. And the ring could represent marriage. It could represent a union, a bond, and it could represent established adult family. So for example, what I get, and I hope you're following me with this longer shoot here could be your childhood family, your parents that you grew up with, for example. So this, I think, is family, all three of these. This one could represent your family, your childhood family. These two could be either first marriage, second marriage, or one significant relationship and another significant relationship, maybe with children, maybe not. But there's kind of these three, let's say, facets of what you consider family. Now, for some of you, this is not even going to be your blood family. You know, this is going to be, and not necessarily a spouse, but it could almost be, although I do think it's more blood related or spousal partner related. But for some of you, it's going to be like a friend bond. Here is like your natal family. Here could be a close, intimate family bonding relationship. Here is another one. And with these two leaves equaling 6, I do think that family and security amongst family might be up in your consciousness. It might be an issue for you over the course of this month ahead, mid-May to mid-June, portal of time, Taurus new moon cycle. And we're tapping in also to the next 7-year cycle for you with Uranus's transit through Taurus as well. So family and security are coming up for you. 2 of these feel binding to you, or there's a more distinct, over the course of this month, there's a distinct pull on you or a wrap around you or some sort of an obligation that you might be feeling with regards to 2 groups, family groups that you feel obligated to, responsible for. Down here came this piece. Now, this is not going to necessarily look like it, but this is what wanted to become a manhole. Initially, I didn't know what this was, but then it became a lid to a manhole. So a hole in the street that leads down to under street caverns and portals and waterways and piping and stuff like that. But it's open structure beneath the road. So this is a road here. These double lines ultimately that came represent one side of the street and the other side of the street. So this is a road, an asphalt road, and this is a manhole. And there's a manhole underneath this elongated original family bamboo shoot. There might be secrets or something hidden that wants to come out this month. It may not, though. Why do I say that? Because the manhole cover is on and there's nothing coming up and out of it. There's no form or structure that wanted to come up and out in this rendering. So it could be that over the course of this mid-May to mid-June 2018 cycle, maybe there's a little bit of awareness around or pressure around stuff that's held underneath the surface of the original family. It could be stuff in the ancestry. It could be stuff with mom, stuff with dad, stuff in the family line that is there. It's in your present moment awareness, Libra, over the course of the now. Up here, this is interesting, okay? So we get this like globe, this ball of gold, and it's up in this second structure of bamboo, of family, with these two shoots. Now, for some of you, this could be two children. For some of you, it's just going to represent growth within the family. But this gold ball here represents an ego, how you assert yourself, how you willfully assert yourself, perhaps. And it's sitting kind of pinnacled. It's structured on top of this second family. So you somehow are identifying more with this second family unit. Now, for each of you, that's going to be different. It could be that for some of you, this is either like almost like a first marriage kind of scenario, or this could be a family or a friend group that feels like family, a community that feels like family. But you feel identified most with this second family unit. But the interesting thing is that it has like a tail on it, and the tail goes down to the end of this original family unit, and it extends down and off the end of it. Let me think about this for a minute. Actually, as I'm thinking about that, I want to point this out, because the yellow here, that is the identification of the second family group, and its link, there is a link, because it's resting on this other one. So it's almost like an aspect of your identity is still dripping and on the original family. Not unusual, right? I mean, we all feel identified at some level with the original family. But there's something else there, and I'm not sure quite what it is yet. But what I will say is the yellow here, your ego, is definitely oriented here under your name and with the glyph of the sun. So what do I mean by that? If you look here, if you look with this pink, this is the glyph of the sun in astrology. And this yellow, this ego, this persona is identifying, you are identifying with the sun in astrology. And what I get from that is the sun in astrology is the function within the soul structure that is your identity. It is what you're encoded in this life to egoically grow and evolve. It's kind of where your ego consciousness is located for growth. And so there's something about your ego, and I want to say how you identify yourself, Libra, over the course of this month that's very activated for you. Who am I, in other words, right? So that's what I get. There's a big question about where do I belong, who am I? But a lot of you are going to, let's say, settle in to the understanding that, you know what, you know what's interesting is that it's propped up here. This sphere, Libra, is propped up on this second family, But you're actually leaning on, this identity is dripping down. It's leaning on this basic family bamboo structure here. It's like your original family. Now, for some of you, that's a positive thing. For others of you, it's not. Because there's a lineage here that might be not healthy. It might be imbalanced. It might be toxic. It might be time to look in the manhole and see what's down here. You know, at some level, there's stuff. Libra, there's something down in the manhole. Now, what's in the manhole? Who am I? Who am I associated with? How is this, which is right above the covered crap, you know, sewage goes underneath the city streets, right? Sewage. So it might be that it's time. This month might be calling you to look under the manhole, to go down deep into the system of your own roads and thoroughways. And see what's there. Because keep in mind, the ego here and this solar emanation, how you're being, how you're identifying yourself, Libra, this is me, this is me, this is me. It's also the same color as the lines, the double yellow lines in the road. And one side of the road goes one way, the other side goes the other way. It might be that you're not sure which direction you're supposed to go in regards to who you are. Do I stay propped up tentatively, kind of in this precarious manner, you know, in association with the second family unit? Some of you are not going to know what this is talking about. Some of you might feel, I only have my original family. I don't have any other families. But I want you to think about your groups of friends and the niches of communities, online communities, people that you feel connected to, family-like feelings where you feel associated. I hope that makes sense, because we all have different groups that we actually feel like they're soul family. And that's what this is talking about. You might be propped up thinking you're identified here, but it's dripping down onto the family lineage, the mother, father, original family, and that has some shit under the street that needs to come up and out in order for there to be a cleanness of who you are being, how you are expressing, how you are emanating yourself. So Libra, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. This is my series deck, 144 card deck. I'm going to go ahead and tap in and see what is a prime growth edge for you, okay? I made this deck 6 years ago this month in 2012, May of 2012. Look at this. Do you see this? It's a little bit hard to see with the reflection. Habit pattern. There we go. Do you see the card there? Habit pattern. So the growth edge for Libras over the course of the cycle is to get clear on what drives your habitual way of being when it comes to how you present yourself to the world. How do you emanate yourself? It's based on stuff that's hidden deep within. Now, for some of you, this is literally the shit under the street. And there's no need to get offended by that articulation, because all of us have that. But for you, over the course of this month, this is about you diving deep into your pipes, into yourself, and clearing it out, going down, confronting it, because the habitual way of being is up for reassessment. Now, keep in mind, this Uranus ingress into Taurus is massive. I've talked about it quite a lot on the other intros to the other videos, so I encourage you to look at some of the other ones. I'll be talking more about it for sure. Lots of people are talking about it. What's important for you to understand is this is a time over the course, what's starting now and over the course of the next 7 years, this is a time for a complete and utter recalibration of material reality, earth, food systems, body, and how we understand material reality to be. And we must, all of us, each and every one of us must re-whole the aspects of self that we've segmented or separated away from what we think we are to be in the world. And there might be some family legacy here that's keeping you tied to some identity that is toxic. And there is a habit of being that is up for recalibration. It's up for a new way of seeing, a new way of being reholed, a new way of actualizing your wholeness of being, not just an identity that's out to the public sphere or expressing this way. As within, so without. Keep in mind, whatever is buried and not acknowledged within you doesn't mean that it doesn't emanate out. It means that it absolutely does. And people get that. People sense it. They pick up, as within, so without. The energy will emanate, whether you're aware of it or not. So if you're finding that your ego identity is not getting you the response that you think you deserve or feels aligned for you, because in your mind you're something else, something different, it's the depths. It's the stuff that's not acknowledged and kept encased and not allowed to come up and out and reintegrated, right? So there's either a shaming around it or a vilifying of it or. For those of you interested in learning about my holosynthesis work, learning your soul print identification, which is critical for the now, go to the alchemyofholism.com. For those interested in following my May Mastery Month, which is me, I started the month doing a fast, and I'm going through the month with a vegan diet and largely living foods. And what else? Instagram, website, oh, and Patreon. So for those of you interested in weekly live streams, you are welcome to join me and my patrons every Saturday morning. We get together and we talk about the astrology of the week, the symbology of the week, and with your participation, we bring up the guidance for you for the week. All right. It's a big time. Breathe, stay grounded, and clear your system, your vehicle, your body system. Stay clean and clear. Stay grounded. Understand who you are and what your mastery trajectory is. So be in contact. For those interested in call, definitely be in contact. Get clear. It's time to get clear. All right. I'm sending you all much love, and I'll talk to you again next month. Bye-bye.